Fuck it. The Hellcat. I wish my voice actually sounded like that because it would make my video so much more dramatic if I could be like, the Hellcat. Like a movie narrator. I don't have a voice that's that cool, but regardless, today we're going to be talking about the Springfield Hellcat. It's just getting worse as I do it. But I was a bit skeptical heading into this review today, and the reason that is, obviously this is Springfield's entry into the micro compact carry gun space. The reason I was a little skeptical heading into this is this gun would have came out approximately a year ago. And I remember when the Hellcat first came out, it was like by some miraculous coincidence, every influencer had one. And I get skeptical at that. Just being honest with you. Anytime I see a bunch of people saying something's amazing and they're popular, therefore they might have gotten that thing for free, but they're not saying that, I'm a little skeptical. Like, as mentioned in another video we shot today, I don't know if it's come out before this video or not, I appreciate what Grand Thumb does in his videos where he basically says, hey, in full disclosure, here's the nature of this. I got this thing for free. I wasn't paid to make it. Ammo was provided by yada, 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 yada. And when this gun first came out, that's what I wanted to see from a bunch of people is like, did Springfield send you these? Because I would get the impression, yes, because it was just such an overwhelming abundance of Springfield Hellcat favorable, I wouldn't even say reviews, just like Instagram bullshit posts and stuff that I was just like, guys, the spidey senses are going off for me because it's just too much, and I'm pretty sure that you guys got all this shit for free. So that said, just so you know, a special thank you to Park City Gun Club, who is local to me in the Utah area. This is just on loan from them, which was very nice because otherwise I would have been stuck buying one of these and then shooting it and then more than likely selling it afterwards, which is not to say that it's bad. We don't know that yet. We haven't gotten that far. But special thanks to Park City Gun Club. They're cool dudes. Consider those dude friends, and they were cool enough to let me borrow this thing. So with all of that out of the way, let's talk about this bad boy. I know you're annoyed. We're stopping the video. I promise we will be back to it momentarily because we've got a lot of good stuff coming up in this video today. Thanks for watching the video. Like, subscribe, all that stuff helps the channel out a lot. If you actually want to see us succeed and do okay in life and not disappoint my mother, support our business, 1911 Syndicate. It's actually a real estate company. We operate in some different states, Utah, Texas, Florida, California. Just contact us if you or someone else needs something. We will see if we can help you. We're actually pretty good at it. Okay, so we're actually pretty good at it. We just also make stupid videos as well. So contact us. Thank you for the support. You guys are the best. All right, let's dissect this little guy right here. So first things first, Springfield says, and I assume they're accurate in this, otherwise they wouldn't say it, this is the world's highest capacity micro compact pistol. And what that means is there is a flush fit mag, I believe. This one just has a slight pinky extension. So that mag is 11, plus you've got one in the gun. It's a double stack and just a really, really slim profile gun. It's very cool. I love these things in terms of the concept of the platform. So there's 11 plus 1 if you want the extended base plate. Now you've got 13 plus 1. That's pretty crazy because you go, look, that's only 2 rounds off of a Glock 19 or a Springfield XD compact, probably. I don't even know what, does anyone know what Springfield models there are? Someone does. Someone buys XDs. God bless you. So anyway, 11+1 or 13+1, and it's very, very cool. You've got a 3-inch barrel, which you really can't talk about the Hellcat without comparing it to its main competition, which would be the SIG 365, the standard 365. So this is my first time looking at this too, just so you have a sense of barrel lengths. You know, I would assume maybe the Hellcat is a smidge longer than the 365, but honestly, I have a feeling they're probably both rated to 3, even though it looks like, I mean, there's a tiny fraction of an inch longer that the Hellcat is. Why the hell not? While we're on this subject, let's just kind of keep looking at it. So, 365 versus Hellcat, that's how long they're going to be in terms of the grips with no mag in. Basically identical. I mean, like the Hellcat again might be a smidge of an inch longer, but you know, they're basically identical. So really what you have here is with the SIG 365 and the Springfield Hellcat, you have guns that are essentially identical. Now, what makes that interesting, of course, is that the Hellcat comes standard with 1 extra round. Of course, on the 365, that's a 10+1, or if you want the extended one, it's a 12+1 versus 11+1 or 13+1. So just to give you a sense there, depending on if that 1 round is significantly valuable to you, then, you know, obviously you got your answer. Hellcat might start to make sense to you. So anyway, that's a little on the size comparison. We will probably come back to that comparison as we go. So Springfield calls this, I wrote it down, what do they call it? Adaptive grip adaptive grip texture, right? And what that is, look, I'm just gonna, we can be honest, right? We can, come on, let's be honest, okay? That's fancy nonsense that companies like to say. I remember when I reviewed the Archon Type B, you know, they say I like that gun. And spoiler alert, I actually like this gun. But part of the thing is like when you make these like crazy inventive things, it's like, bro, you mean the stippled grip? Is that what we're talking about? The thing that you say is non-aggressive to the touch, but increases in aggressiveness as you grip harder. So like, fucking, it's a stipple grip, man. Like, I have no issue with you calling it. It's a nice stipple grip. I would actually say it's better in many ways than the SIG version. And the reason I would say that is if you look at the two compared to each other, what's unique about the Hellcat is that this little panel up here is also textured, and out here, a little like sort of, it's a little like kind of dimpled in section, like there's a little dent here that's also stippled, which would be, you know, logically for you guys as a righty, you bunch of weirdo righties, would probably be like a little, you know, thumb reference point. I like that. I gotta give a point to Springfield over SIG on that, because, you know, on the SIG, look, it's textured down here, stippled versus adaptive grip texture. Adaptive grip texture, but it's not, it doesn't have an adaptive grip texture here, or aka stipple, and nothing up here either. So, you know, point to Springfield for me on that. The grip is nice. I think we can lose all the fancy marketing talk. That's just my 2 cents on that though. The mag release is reversible, so if for some reason you wanted to flip this over to the right side of the gun, which would be more so a lefty thing, but I've gotten so adapt to just dropping the mag with that trigger finger, it's just, you know, it's just what my brain does, you know? The sights, so good job on the sights. And you gotta, I don't know, actually I'm almost positive the SIG 365 came out before the Hellcat. If so, someone's taking pages out of someone else's book, because whoever started coming out first, props to whoever it was, because I don't know who it was, if it was Trigicon or Night Vision or whoever started coming out with these like really bright, it's a tritium front sight, but it's surrounded by this really hot spot ring, which in this case is kind of a yellow-green. I love it. It makes for me, what is the perfect, can I say that? I almost feel like I'm in a point with, like in a relationship where it's like, can we say we love each other yet? Like I have that feeling with this front sight where I'm like, can I say that? Like this is my favorite front sight. Like, God, like the commitment of it is scary, you know? It's like, God. But not necessarily the Springfield one being my favorite, but all of these things where you just get that tritium dot and you just get that really nice bright ring around it. Because it is the best of both worlds where, hey, at night, I was doing some low light, no light stuff a week ago, and I was shooting a gun with a blacked out rear sight and a fiber optic front, and you just go, man, low light, no light, you are fucked, you know? And I get it. People are like, yeah, but you're gonna have a white light because you're gonna get a PID on your target. Cool, I get it. The only problem with that is I don't even have a reference for where the fuck my sights are until that light goes on. I would like to say, look, my sights are lined up, light on, cool. Like my sights are already aligned. So I don't know why we can't kind of come to some mutual agreement that being able to see your sights at night without the use of a light would be a better thing than blindness. Seems like anything is better than being blind. I don't know why we debate back and forth on this, but great job on the sights. That was what, a 7-minute fucking rant on the sights. Let's move on. U-notch, rear sight, neither here nor there. It's cool, I'll take it. I don't really care. Either way, it could be black, could be a U-notch, it could be 2 dots. I don't really give a shit, to tell you the truth. It works fine for me. There's an optics ready version. So this one, you know, to tell you the truth, I'm not sure if this, I would assume this counts as an optics ready version because it is ready for an optic, AKA you just take off the plate and install your red dot. So it's only gonna take those mini red dots specifically, just in case you guys are looking it up. The Shield RMSC is the red dot that you have to put on this. I would love to shoot this with that red dot. I think it would be really cool to see what this thing is like with that dot. In my brain, I like it. I would like to see it in person, but in my brain, I definitely like it. A very cool feature, I gotta tell you, I totally forgot about this until about 5 minutes ago when we started filming this. So it has this feature, so that I'm not pointing this gun at people. We'll get some close-ups after that will blend in here. So it basically has a feature, because obviously this is clearly meant as a carry gun. And one of the things that, hey, as grim as it may sound, as much as, you know, the average CCW person might like to think, like, yeah, there's some manageable distance between you and some sort of threat. Hey, it's, I don't know the, you know, statistics, but it's definitely a possibility that that threat winds up and you've got body on body contact. And the problem with that, man, you guys are gonna put me, okay, so look. You guys can go ahead and unsubscribe from this channel if you want. Is that enough? Cool, great. You know the gun's unloaded now, okay? Because you kind of have to use something as a reference on this. And this is not my gun, so I don't want to push it into a rock and potentially scuff up the little crown on the barrel there. So it has this feature that's basically, I would assume, part of the, probably not part of the guide rod, but it almost looks like it would be. And it's basically like a little plate here. And what is cool about it, let's just do this on my boot, okay? Again, okay, calm down, is that basically when pressed into something, the gun doesn't go out of battery. And that is a very, very cool forward-thinking feature. That's clever. Why is no one else doing that? Because I've done a video in the past on like, hey, if you've got a Glock 19, basically any modern fire gun, there's any modern firearm, minus 1911s, 2011s, which do have an interesting workaround for this, but basically everything else, hey, if you go on contact with something, that gun is coming out of battery. And now granted, if you wound up pushing into the slide itself, of course the gun's gonna come out of battery. But as long as you're hitting this little notch here, which is basically the first thing you're gonna make contact with, you're not out of battery and you can still fire that gun. Again, very clever, forward-thinking design, and I would commend Springfield for that. I think it's smart. I wish more people were doing that. Kudos on that. Other little things we got, rear serrations, front serrations, and they do extend to the top a little bit on that RMS plate. I hope I said that right, RMS, yeah, plate. So there's top serrations there, which, hey, do you really use these for much? Not really, but, you know, they're cool. Why not? More serrations is better than less serrations. So that's cool. There's a little mini light rail there. I'm not sure what light would have to go on that. It would have to be tiny. I mean, it's definitely, I don't think like a Surefire XC1 or something like that's gonna fit, but a light will go. You're just gonna have to track that down from Springfield or whoever makes those. And then, let's see, what else we have here? Last thing, just to kind of bring up the trigger. The trigger is really not bad. It's not great, it's not terrible. It's the resets. I would say it's like a cleaned up Glock trigger. That's kind of the best way I could describe it to you. The take up is very similar to like a Glock trigger. Trigger pull's not light, it's not heavy, it's pretty clean, it's not real mushy. It would be like a good Glock trigger, you know, probably like a Gen 5 Glock trigger, kind of like that. To say that that's a good trigger would be a little bit horseshitish, but it's a pretty decent Glock style trigger. Yeah, thanks for coming on the tour of the Hellcat today. Oh, my ass was not meant to sit on rocks like this. It's Irish DNA, you know, wasn't meant for it. So let's kind of hit you with a little bit of opinion and kind of thoughts on the Hellcat. So one, the price point, depending on the model, you're going to average out at right about $600. So I think it's a fair price, especially, you know, coming with 2 mags, because the mags run 30 to 40 bucks. You know, you're dealing with steel mags there. I don't think it's a bad value. I think it's got some, you know, again, I think to say if something is good, it's all relative. So you have to say, well, is it good compared to what? So again, if we sort of circle back to my friend, the 365, which I've been a big fan of, that's a personal gun. You know, I've owned that for quite a while now. You gotta go, man, they are pretty damn similar. You know, there's just not like some clear winner between the two, to be honest with you. I mean, the SIG has, you know, tritium all around, so rear and front, versus a cheaper rear sight on this. The SIG does not. The 365 XL has a plate where you can put on a dot. The standard 365 does not. The Hellcat does. You have, I would say, better texturing on the Hellcat. Largely not because the texture itself is better, but because it extends to places that I want it to extend, aka here and then up by where your, you know, thumbs were going to be hanging out up here. Neither are super compatible with a light, you know, certainly not like really good lights, at least nothing that I've seen that is super impressive. One thing that may be notable, so unless there is something that I'm very not aware of, I'm sure there's some sort of internal safety on the 365, but in terms of the trigger or an external safety, there's nothing. You know, you're just dealing with a trigger that, you know, the trigger's nice on these. I would say advantage on the trigger goes to 365, but you know, there's no trigger safety on that, versus on the Hellcat you do have a nice, you know, very Glock style trigger safety. One thing that I would say is an interesting note that we'll show some footage of is the slide release is very far back on the Hellcat, and there's a pro and a con to that. The pro is that, hey, if you look at the 365, for example, so jam mag, I mean, it's a small gun, right? I've got fairly long fingers, not fat, but like long fingers, and I can reach that no problem, right? As a lefty, basically what I do is I insert mag and I drop that with my trigger finger. So you do have to break your grip, but basically drop that and then you reform that grip. The Hellcat, it is very far back. Even if you look at it compared to the SIG, try to stack these up as best I can. It is notably further back on the Hellcat than it is on the SIG. I guess the pro of that would be, hey, for most of you who are righties, mag goes in, and I mean, look, if you've got little baby hands, you're still gonna be able to hit that slide release no problem. As a lefty, the problem with it is, hey, insert mag, if you're gonna use your trigger finger method, you have to, I mean, literally break, I have to literally fully come off of the gun, break my grip in order to get to that slide release. So if you're running this as a lefty, more than likely, you're gonna go mag in and you're just gonna power stroke the gun, because honestly, that big grip and break in it, I mean, it's really, you gotta reach with that finger to hit that, is not super ergonomic. Again, fuck lefties, so I don't really think that anyone in the gun industry cares about that, or damn few of you at the very least. And just my people, we do acknowledge and appreciate those of you who do like us. It's just not many of you. So there's little things like that. But to tell you the truth, man, you can't, like, there's not a clear winner here. I mean, as I talk about it a little bit and you go, okay, the extra stipple, the red dot plate, sight's probably 365, trigger pretty comparable, but at least you got trigger safety on this. So I'll tell you this, I am delighted that all of the influencers with their more than likely free guns, I'm delighted that when they all were inevitably saying that they like this gun, I gotta tell you, I like it too. I like it. To me, it is extremely competitive with the 365. You could make a case that that is actually a better pistol in terms of how they hold up reliability-wise over time. Hey, I don't have enough rounds on this to dictate that unless that information is out there, which I'm sure it is. But assuming that they're both reliable platforms, which I know some people are going to harp on the 365 because some of the earlier ones had some issues. Mine's never had an issue. I think the current ones are all good. But, you know, it's good. I don't have a ton to really say that I can even really knock it for. Not that I want to do that in the first place, but there was a part of me skeptical of influencer nation getting their hands on these things going like, dude, something doesn't smell right here. But I got to tell you, it's legit. It's, you know, I would give it an endorsement. Not that that matters to anyone whatsoever, but it's legit. It's legit, and I would buy it, and I would put my money where my mouth is and pick one up. So, yeah, anyway. Thanks for watching.